मुक्तिप्रदं देवं क्षमापूर्णं जगद्गुरुं वन्दे परमहंसाख्यं नित्यम्.
From today we are going to work on fear and greed knots. Please understand, the fear and greed knots are not just fear and greed. They create so much of complications. When the fear and greed meet each other, guilt forms. When the fear takes over, the guilt is called pain. When the greed takes over, the same feeling is called pleasure. When both of them are nullified, it is called bliss. Understand? Fear, greed. When both of them meet, it is guilt. When fear takes over, it is pain. When the greed takes over, it is pleasure. When both of them are nullified, it is bliss. So these are the different layer patterns we have. Only if you break all the patterns, fear, greed, guilt, pain, pleasure, and only when you break all these patterns, you reach bliss. These are such deep-rooted patterns, very powerful patterns. I tell you, once these patterns are broken inside you, it is equivalent to the new birth. And you will really see it's a new birth. It is new birth. So now we will start working on these deeper patterns. Fear first, greed next, guilt third, pain fourth, pleasure fifth. And ultimately, bliss. Fear. Fear and death is such important subjects. Seen my Akashic recordings on death, Akashic readings on death. Of course, it's not mine. I am only a reader. I am not author. I am only a reader. But in a way, these records can be accessed only by author also. In a way author, in a way reader. Let's begin our journey into death. Death is nothing but the disappearance of some parts which you think as you, but which is not you. Understand the definition? Death is the disappearance of something which you always think as your part, but which is not part of you, is death. I had 5 death experiences in my life. Let me share one by one. First, my cousin brother died when I was very young, means maybe 10 or 11. Then, my great-grandmother died. Not just grandmother, great-grandmother. She died. This village is such a fellows. Still, I can show you guys at least 20 people above 100 who have crossed centuries still sitting in this village. No fellow dies. That's a big problem. Really. This village has a history. No fellow dies very quickly. And another one big problem, the lifestyle in this village is, Only if after the head of the family dies, you will have the wealth in your control. My grandfather died when he was 94. Till his death, he had the whole wealth and even the day-to-day money he had under his control. My uncles were all earning, but all the income will go only to his hand, my grandfather. My uncles have only right to work, but even for day-to-day expense, if they want to buy a flower for their wives, they have to ask only the grandfather, and he will give. Last day of his death, till death, he had the keys in his hand. And after he died, I have three uncles. My mother has three brothers, three uncles. After the grandfather died, the eldest person, he holds the key now. Still that systematic joint family. If I am asked to create a lifestyle, I'll propose this joint family only. That's the best lifestyle. Human beings will feel so secured. The support of one another, it is something unimaginable. Anyhow, and these fellows don't die at all. In a way, it is good also. No, really, because when I saw all these fellows and grow up, I just know I am going to live for at least 126 years. This why this 126 number, based on my horoscope. When my guru, yoga teacher, when he told me, hey, your horoscope says you will live 126 years, I never had a doubt. Even now, I don't have a doubt. At least I have seen 50 people living more than 100. Crossed 100, 50 people. One of my great-grandmother, I have seen both my great-grandmothers. One, she died in 104. That experience. If your mind is not ready, only your body living in the old age is really a hell. Only if your mind is also ready, the old age, living long period is worthy. Otherwise it is hell. My great-grandmother's death, and my mentor and teacher, Kuppammal, her death. Fourth, my own death experience. Fifth, my enlightenment experience. These 5 deaths have done something extraordinary to me. I'll share the whole story with the first death I experienced. My cousin brother, he was born dumb and deaf. So in the large giant family with a lot of kids, no kid will play with him, he will be always left alone, aloof, because he can't play with them, he is dumb and deaf. I never enjoyed what the kids enjoyed. Please understand, always my taste was not of my age. From the beginning, my taste was of something like a 90-year-old. I was never a child. I want to tell you, not even once I played any games or anything in my life. Even as a child. You guys play cricket, football, so many things. Not even once. In school or in the house, never. The only game I know is sitting with the deities and playing. Decorating them, living around them. He will be left out because he is dumb and deaf. I will never join this group. I will also always be sitting with puja. I need an assistant to help me. So this guy is my assistant. My first assistant is dumb and deaf. He was very strong. So he is my bodyguard, an assistant and first secretary. Whole day I will sit and do puja. My only work is doing puja, doing rituals and making deities out of clay, stone and all that. He is the person who will bring flowers for my puja and wash the clothes of the deities and wash my clothes and all the, whatever I want, supplying me the clay or the stone for carving, making deities and all that, everything. And he's such a nice person, very close to me. We both will always be together. And the agreement is whatever Nivedyam Prasadam, I will give it to him. And so he was my assistant maybe for at least 5 years. It was a very strong relationship. In this type of villages, we have a habit, once the school is over, in the vacation, you go to your aunt, uncle's houses. It will all be nearby village. So he went to nearby village, which is half an hour drive from here, for vacation. Unfortunately, in the ground level well, he fell into the well and died. Here, villages, you see, all wells will be open wells. Have you seen the open well without any wall? It will be just floor level well. A big well, village well, he fell into that and died in that open well. It all happened just in half an hour. And when he was leaving, I told him, where are you going? What will you do there? Nobody will play with you. You sit here and we will do our puja. And I remember he told me he did not speak, but he expressed, I will go there and do puja. Anyhow, he died, and by evening they brought the body back, his body. It was just, my whole being is shaken. A child seeing death. Death of somebody who is very close. The moment I wake up, he will be there with me. Till I fall asleep. Like assistant, security, bodyguard, everything. If somebody tries to bully me, he will kick them. Because he was very strong. And he is the eldest child in the whole family. Around 25 of us grew together. He is the eldest in the whole family. He was very highly protective of me. It was really unfortunate. First time I tasted impermanence in the life. Please understand. Experientially the impermanence. Whatever is said and done, when you listen to others' story, you don't feel that strongly. When it happens to you only, you understand. As a child, first time impermanence. It was a big shock for me. Could not handle. I went and asked my grandmother, but even then I did not cry. Went and asked the grandmother, what happened to him? They said, he has gone to the God. He has reached God. That's the usual thing. Always parents tell. Maybe you also might have heard only that concept. This must be the first idea everybody hears about death. Anyhow, I could not understand. They told me in Tamil, Swami kita poitar. He has gone to Swami. So those days the Swami means Sabarimalai is that place. There's a temple in next state, neighbor state. That deity is called Swami. I thought he has gone to the temple. So somehow I pacified myself. Okay, yes, after all gone to the temple. Every year I go to the temple. When I go next time, I will bring him back. So I consoled myself and settled. I pacified myself. And it was over. They took his body and cremated. First time I saw body burning. I became very curious and sat throughout the burning ritual. And the process was over. But that impermanence that got settled in me. And I think within 2 years, my great grandmother, she passed away. That was one of the strongest experience happened in my life. Because when she was alive, she was already 104. Nobody was taking care of her. Even though it's a giant family, nobody will go near her. They will give food and all that. Nobody will go and spend time with her. I am the only person who will go near her. And she had the habit of chewing the tobacco. I have to buy tobacco for her from the corner shop. Still that shop, same guy is there. See, my barber, still the same guy is there, running his shop. My grocery shop, still the same guy is there, running the same shop. Of course, my schools are all there, that is different. Even the shops, same guys are there. And she'll ask me to go and buy tobacco. 4 annas. 25 paise. 20 paise for tobacco and 5 paise for my candy. So because of the candy, I will tolerate all her bad mouthing, all her scolding. Every day I will get a candy if I get tobacco for her. That's the only relationship we both had. No other relationship. Whenever I ask for money, she will tell, no, take it from your father. As usual, just like all old ladies, she was miser also. And she was about to die. She was in the deathbed. Not a single soul was worried about her death. And of course, no need to worry. She's already 104, 4 years late. And everybody was waiting. And under her cot, there was a big trunk, the olden days iron box filled with gold coins, silver coins, and those days silver coins, gold coins, and very costly jewelries, antique jewelries. It's all our property. So people, all the women in the house were waiting for their share. Only if she dies, they'll get their share. And she was in the deathbed. They called the doctor who was in the opposite house. Listen to the whole thing. I'll describe as it happened. I am actually now seeing and describing. The opposite house, the doctor is there and he was called to come and attend. The doctor came and started attending and he poured the water into her mouth. See, for the whole street, my house well is the only water source. No other water source. So everybody has to fetch water from my house only. This lady is so orthodox, Friday evening she will not give water. She had a belief, Friday evening if you give water, Lakshmi will go away from your house. Means wealth will go away from your house. She won't give water. If you are from Indian village, you can relate with whatever I am talking. One day, the doctors, some patient came to his house. He's a very nice person. Even midnight, late night, if some patients come, he will get up and take care of the patients. Those days, there is no disposable syringe. He will boil the water and sterilize the syringe and give injection. He will all himself will sit and boil the water and sterilize and do the whole process. Such a nice person. One day, Friday night, some patient, emergency patient, he wants water. He sent his staff to the house for water to treat the patient. This lady said no water. She did not only she did not give water, she has hidden the bucket. She took the bucket and hid it in the room and said, no bucket, no water, go. And finally the poor doctor has to walk all the way to the temple and ask the temple watchman to open the gate. In those days it's all like a one family, you see. The temple watchman and all will open the gate of the temple. No, that security problems and all those things were not there. Actually, nobody will even close the temple in those days. Rarely, if the watchman did not drink that night, he will close. If he is drunk, even that lock will not be there. And that day, unfortunately, he has closed the temple gate. He opened and gave the water, and finally the patient was treated. When he was pouring the water, I could see God. And she hid that bucket in front of my eyes and told the lie that there is no bucket, no water. I was wondering, you did not give water to the same doctor, but you see, last water you are drinking is given by him. Same guy. See the life. See how the life flows. She drank the water, finally closed the eyes and passed away. The moment she died, first thing they did, they called the local goldsmith, the family goldsmith. He came and he shared all the jewels equally to all the families. They pulled the trunk. You can't actually open, you have to break. It's a huge old type of trunk, that steel box. Even the key which she had rusted, so they could not open the trunk. They got the goldsmith, broke the trunk and took out all the coins, first measured and shared to all the families. I was looking as a small boy, 11-year-old boy, I was standing and looking. First thing, this lady even having so much of money, I was wondering, if this lady gave all these things, I would have had tobacco for her for whole life, and I would have had my candy for my whole life. This lady had so much of wealth, did not use, left everything and died. And now all the fellows who are sharing, they are also going to leave this and die. But these fellows are all fighting for it. I could see very clearly some diamond necklace and all. It was not getting equally shared. So the goldsmith has to cut it. He has to cut and divide among the families. Those days the pearls and all will be this size pearls. If you see the antique jewelry, they have their own beauty. And even though my family was not a rich family, but those days middle class family. All middle class family in India will have at least 100 saran gold. They may not eat well. They may eat only twice a day, but the gold and jewelry is life for them. They will be sitting on it. Only now in the middle class family in India, they don't keep gold. In those days, I remember, some of the jewels you can't even lift by one hand. If any of you are from, especially this forward communities, like Nagaratta, this Mudaliyars and all that, then you will understand what I am saying. Even though middle class family, they had a lot of this kind of gold and all that. So I could see, these fellows are too busy in sharing. And you know what happened? It took almost 1 hour for them to all this sharing. They finished sharing, emptied the whole thing, and there were some aunts, uncles who are not there in the scene, who are supposed to come. They kept equal share for them also, and tied in the cloth. I started laughing. Then one of my uncle, he came and started chasing me. Hey, don't laugh here. And I ran away to the first floor, balcony. See, the house is such that all 4 side balcony. In the center is the veranda, big veranda, where marriages, all the ceremonies will be held. Even death ceremony, everything will be held there only. It's like because it's a giant family, all houses will have their own community hall kind of a thing, where easily 300-400 people can sit. That size hall. So I ran to the balcony. I was standing in the balcony and laughing again, seeing the whole thing from above and laughing. Then my uncle came and he just slapped me. Second time when he raised his hand, I held his hand. I was a very strong child. Held his hand and told, if you touch me once more, I'll go outside the house and stand. Whoever comes, I'll tell all of them how you guys divided the jewelry first, before even bringing the dead body outside. Before even bothering about the dead body. So I told him, I will go out and tell everybody, you fellows, you did not bother about her, and the dead body, you were bothering only about the jewelry. Then my father rushed and stopped my uncle and said, hey, why are you playing with him? This fellow will do what he says. don't harass him, leave him. But my uncle was afraid. I will really go out and stand in the street and tell all the relatives what they did. So he put me in a room and locked me. He closed the door outside. I tell you, one of the strongest experience I had in my life was in that room. My respect for the social structure has just collapsed. I always felt father means father, mother means mother, brother means brother, aunt means aunt, uncle means uncle. First time I am seeing the hypocrisy. The whole thing collapsed. Now I know all relationships are business. Please understand. All of you would have had this experience at some point in your life. Unfortunately, when this experience happened in you, you became so insensitive, you did not go behind it. You did not follow further. These experiences should be explored. Only then that we reach the truth. We reach the truths of life. Anyhow, my whole respect for the society and the social conditioning has disappeared. After that, nobody was able to rule me. Nobody had respect from my heart. I did not have respect for anybody. Nobody had power over me. I disowned everybody. I understood, oh God, neither that lady was intelligent who was dead, nor you fellows are intelligent who are going to die. She was taken and cremated. All the ceremony was over. Still I remember, when I came out of the room, when they opened the room, when I came out, I just picked up my Bhagavad Gita, went and sat near her and read the whole Bhagavad Gita. I was reading the Bhagavad Gita even while she was taken to the cremation ground. Went and sat near her ceremony and all that burning and everything. Read the whole Bhagavad Gita and came back. That's all.